Okay, thank you very much, everybody, being here. I'm really sorry. My languages are not, Turkish skills, I'm sorry, I'm not super fluent. But I'm very happy to be here with Yiğit that will help me also for the translation. The presentation will be, the slides will be in Turkish, I will speak in English. And for whatever questions, things that you don't understand, just raise up your hand and then we will do the live translation. Okay? So, it's really a pleasure to be here for me, for PIX4D, after many years that we are working together with Haritacılık here in Turkey. We have seen a lot of growth and in the user group here with a really high level of technicalities, expertise, and really high technology skills. So we are very happy that we can finally, after years, I have to say, last time in Turkey for me was during the FIG Congress in Istanbul, so 4 years ago, and now finally back after this, or 2 years of pandemic. So, yeah, this is the core of my presentation, and to digitize reality and extract critical data from images. This is what PIX4D has as a goal, and we really want to go straight into this path in order to help people like you to develop their own business and to provide good results. We believe that image-based techniques will give intelligent eyes to the robotic of the future. And consider nowadays how many cameras are in the world, or simply how many cameras are in our little world. These are all source of images. We have CCTV cameras, cameras in our pockets, in the car, everywhere. So these image-based devices can really be our eyes for the future. PIX4D was founded in Switzerland in 2011, and as based at the Polytechnique in Lausanne. Is a brand agnostic company that collaborates with many drone camera manufacturers, and really has this core goal that we believe in transforming a business through technology to affect lasting and positive changes in the world around us. Our goal is to empower our customers to get accurate, digitized version of their reality and to extract critical information based on data from images, to output georeferenced 2D maps, 3D models, specifically with focus with point clouds for analytics. Here in this department of the ministry, I cannot say what photogrammetry is. I mean, you know all what photogrammetry is. You are a lot expert than me for sure. Just wanted to say a few words related to what our CEO, Christoph Streccia, is also saying. That the 3D vision, basically the ability to understand that information, is key to defining innovative businesses, new workflows, the workplace where we live, and even the everyday life of people now and in the future. Photogrammetry, we know, at least 2 images to collect, to create one point, but it's exactly the same thing with additional sensors that our brain is doing. So we have 2 sensors, at least visual sensors, and then we have additional sensors that are allowing us to perceive the reality, the distances, the dimensions. We have our voice, the wavelengths reflected, received by our sensors, like our ears. They give us some references with our arms so we can understand the distances and where we are in the world. So getting all these images, all this information, for us it's easy. with a passive sensor like a camera, the photogrammetry is simply needed with multiple images in order to create from images, groups of images, to the 3D and the 2D. Yes, so this is a little sketch for people that will not be possibly super expert on this. So many different points. I mean, every single point is created by the homologous points in many different images. This way, with features, geometry, texture, we can recreate the accurate position of that point directly into the 3D virtual space. If images are also geotagged, highly precise and accurately geotagged with proper GPS sensors or GNSS sensors, we can also properly define their location in the 3D space, in the absolute or relative coordinate systems. So, the entire, during this presentation we will see different sketches and different explanations of this workflow. So, from capturing images or videos, process and create 2D and 3D models, analyze, digitize and annotate the models, and share the models to create a workflow in order to enable people to have a proper workspace, like co-working space with other colleagues. So these are the, let's say, 4 steps of our core systems. And it actually has been used to output results like 3D point clouds, orthomosaic like GeoTIFFs, DSM, DTM, textured mesh, index maps for agriculture applications, and thermal information. We do also have, and we will have a second part of the presentation after, I think. Yes. A special focus on what we do in terms of algorithms for artificial intelligence, machine learning, that are actually advanced tools and a service to the users. So in some of the platforms we will see later, we have the automatic workflows to vectorize road lines, detecting manholes or drainage systems, to collect and mark automatically ground control points, create terrain filters, and create a smart grid things. A special focus goes to the telecommunication industry. For us, is an emerging big market, especially for the 5G network. And we are capable now to detect automatically antennas, dish antennas, panel antennas, and output their positions and the geometries with orientations and angles directly with zero intervention from the users, directly over the cloud. These are somehow the challenges that we help people and users to solve. So, especially what I want to focus on is rapidly detect critical issues with high accuracy. During these days, assets are very and extremely important to be maintained. So, the faster you can act to detect and spot errors or maintenance, the better it is for the community, for the society, because you can maintain that asset properly, and you can leverage and use it in order to have a better and then improve performance and monitoring workflows, in order to have a better return of investment and a higher return of investment of your asset. The key benefits of PIX4D products and services are summed up here. And it's not a case that the safety and the reduction of the operational risk is at the center. These are the 4 pillars of the vision that we develop our products. And the human beings reduce their operational risk directly on site is extremely important, because every single person is an asset. It cannot be replaced. So, and then, I mean, thanks to this, we figured out some ways to increase the speed, the agility, and their productivity, to deliver them greater impact, thanks to the precise and accurate actionable data, and then definitely to save time and reduce the costs of the operations. Pretty sure that you know very well how stockpile volume calculations were done in the past with theodolites or even GPS antennas going up, and it's a very risky environment. Nowadays, from drones and good cameras, basically these costs of can be reduced, and the safety is definitely improved. So we will see now a bit of PIX4D applications and the industry's focus. So don't be scared. Don't be scared about this slide. It's very complicated, but we really wanted to have one slide with all the products that we have now. So possibly, and I think that the cadastral here, they know very well mapper, PIX4D mapper with the large frame add-on to process ultracam images or phase one. That's the main software with which PIX4D has been born and grown. During the last few years, we realized that our users were using our core software in many different ways to fulfill their specific needs. In order to do that, to help them properly, we decided to not have only one software that basically does everything, and basically kind of going against the normal ideas, we decided to split the software and to create different vertical software. So we are now, we started at the beginning with PIX4D fields, so a specific workflow defined and dedicated to agriculture and forestry application for environmental applications. Then we defined, I mean, of course, PIX4D capture, but this is another topic. We went to a PIX4D Matic for the new generation of photogrammetry workflows, a lot faster than Mapper, robust and reliable, with defined coordinate systems, with geoids all around for the processing. Then PIX4D survey for the analytical part, the vectorization, digitization, the bridge between CAD and photogrammetry. And survey can also import laser scanning data or GPR data, sonar data, in order to have everything in one single product. We will see an example of this with each. React for immediate response. The output is only 2D map, very quick and fast, thinking about an area of few hectares to be mapped after a flooding. I mean, we have seen in the floods, the weather was not very nice during these days, at least in the afternoons. So to be very quick and reactive, directly on site with the rescue teams, 400, 500 images processed in 3 minutes to have a map, a quick map in a simple laptop. And then we have the cloud options, cloud corporate tools with Inspect, dedicated for inspections, PIX4D Cloud to share results and process quickly, and an engine to create corporate kind of processing tools and options directly in the back end of a production line of photogrammetry workloads. So these are the software, so desktop and cloud and servers. But then we also have released mobile applications. Do you remember the slide before? So to capture the data. Mobile applications for drone controls, PIX4D capture, general, PIX4D scan specifically related to the inspection, and then a mobile application that I definitely suggest you to download. It's for free, PIX4D Catch, to create 3D results and to vectorize in 3D and create 3D models directly from your smartphone. We will see later when we go outdoor, we will do the demo, the live demo with the smartphone and the VDOC, the GNSS RTK antenna for mobile applications. Additionally, and that's the VDOC here, we created the hardware in order to be used with our ecosystem and help people to get accurate results with the less impact possible. VDOC is the antenna, crane camera, you will see a slide, and has this box crane with a GPS, RTK, IMU inside, and goes at, over the jib of a crane in a construction site. Acquires images automatically and sends everything to the cloud. And these are somehow the applications with in which all the software that we and the solutions that we have seen before are serving the industry and serving the ecosystem that we have. So surveying and mapping is the first, and you know very well how to use this map, especially PIX4D mapper in this application. Construction, mining, inspection, agriculture, cultural heritage. The emergency response and public safety are somehow both together, and then the part of the education. In the following slides, we will see somehow all this potential usage of this software to serve the surveying and mapping industry. Definitely to increase productivity, ensure higher accuracy, and basically always to update maps and terrain models that are kind of live objects, let's say. A terrain is always affected, and its geomorphological situation is always in itinerary, it's always changing. So we need to have up-to-date maps to serve then our communities, and to basically create accurate deliverables with the 3D maps and 3D models. Similarly for the construction, where a lot is done recently with earthworks management and stockpile measurements, as I said. And the goal here is to be fast, but accurate, and especially in time, according to the plans of a construction. We don't want to have any money wasted. We want to have a higher return of investment, and our clients mostly now are going into the direction of BIM, so the Building Information Models. And here it's something that we can serve their needs properly with these tools. Not much to say about mining and aggregates. We know very well how, which are the risks and which are the problems that this industry have and has. And the most important thing here is to follow and to provide tools to follow the mine from the beginning, actually from the plan to the end, to the rehabilitation. So the extraction, the plan of the asset plan, then the reconstruction, then the 3D, the volume calculations, that is actually stockpiles are the assets, so they're money. Inspection and telecommunication, definitely, again, the inspection word is really, really big. It can go, it has many applications. It can go from bridges, inspection, roads, tunnels, specifically nowadays, with transmission towers and cell phone towers and buildings. I mean, they're used by drones. These are inspections are always a risky, very risky industry and very risky very risky job to do for people. So just if we can cut the time and the risk of people going and climbing up to a tower, then we are definitely happier because they can be more productive and they can actually create the same results. For cultural heritage, again, these are the software that could be used, conservation, discovery, and recovery of records of cultural heritage objects. Specifically, this is nice things to say about PIX4D catch. Very often, these buildings are kind of, or building or objects are also small, and we need to create 3D digitized, like digital twin of the reality. And we have cases even in Mexico where a museum and a university mapped more than 40,000 pieces of the Maya culture directly with PIX4D catch in order to create their museum kind of fully digitized. And that was great. It was really interesting to see. In terms of agriculture, here we are opening like the big word and a kind of a Pandora box of smart agriculture, how to use agriculture and to be more environmentally friendly, to produce more, to reduce the chemicals and the risk that for our health. And to do that, we can also link the outputs that we have with the index maps directly to smart tractors that are basically doing a crop spraying localized, not only with tractors, but even with, let's call it spray drones. I don't know if you have already heard about this. And definitely in order to do it properly, we need to process and use multispectral data. We need to understand more from just the RGB visual information, and the multispectral data can give us the status of the health of our crops, the health of our plants and forests. Usually, what we have seen for farmers and agriculture users, we can help them to save at least 5 to 15% of costs every single year, without counting the possibility to detect the problems of the health of the plant immediately. Crop performance is also a lot, very important and a lot used, because basically for the performance of the crop, we can help them to understand the yield estimations, plan and manage the irrigation, so the hydrogeological workflows, and minimize the soil erosion. In public safety, a lot is related to the forensic and the CSI reconstruction that we have seen yesterday, people for that. And that was really interesting. It's really interesting, and as also for the fire investigation, our tools can help them to understand the causes, the origin of the fire, or to create proper assets, to create a digital twin of the asset that was completely burned, for example, in order to then serve the insurance industry. It's actually pretty fast. Our tools are pretty fast and can provide situational awareness for the first responders. Similar thing for the humanitarian aid and disaster relief. It's extremely important to understand if first responders can go in a defined road to then help and rescue people. But if a road, for example, is it's full of debris, then they cannot go. But if they would have done that road, they would have been stuck and then get back. So there is a loss and they lose time. So quick understanding of the situation with a map that can be shared to everybody directly on site. It's a real important feature, and that's definitely in conjunction with the drone applications. In order to properly train users, we also have an educational goal with providing a lot of discounted tools to students, to university, to photogrammetry schools, as well as to schools for the kids even. Again, you have seen this slide, and we do it again another way, but this is the ecosystem of PIX4D, and we are capable to integrate third-party tools with digital cameras, cloud applications, and desktop software. So we also have, in order to serve these products, and in the following slides, you will see one example per product, and then the explanation of our customer success, technical support, and the official training. So PIX4D Mapper, you know very well how to use it and what it is for. It's a leading photogrammetry professional software that transforms terrestrial and aerial images into accurate results. And it's basically providing the knowledge of photogrammetry and started to democratize photogrammetry. In order to collect the images, you need to control the drones, or in order to have the right inputs, you need to have the right tools to acquire them. And this is related to PIX4D capture for drones applications. We control, and we can control many DJI and Parrot drones. It's iOS and Android based. Again, this is for free. If you want to download it, you can. No problem. There are multiple missions that can be performed specifically for photogrammetric applications, the double grid mode and the grid modes, oblique, to collect information for big areas. PIX4D Scan, similarly as a mobile application, it focuses on the flight plan of some drones, DJI and Parrot drones, in order to collect images with the inspection goal. What I say here is that PIX4D Scan already has artificial intelligence also embedded in the app that allows a better optimized acquisition of the images to then process these images straight into PIX4D Inspect. It has specific features of flying thin objects, for example, like a helix, a spiral, that cuts the time of a flight by 50%. So, for example, a 30 meters telco tower can be mapped in around 15 to 20 minutes with this tool. Whereas, I don't know if you have ever tested it, if you have ever tried to fly a drone, but doing a helix, it's really hard doing it manually. So the automation, it's practically done in the flight, but then the user always has the control to go up to the tower to stop the mission at any time. We spoke already about PIX4D Inspect for automating the industrial inspection and the asset management. This is fully cloud-based, and it's in one of this. It's in this actually tool and software that we embed a lot of development. We have an office in Madrid with 50 people just working on this. And here we are with PIX4D Catch. Who has downloaded it now? Who has PIX4D Catch in a smartphone? Okay, in the version I know that you usually use. Please download the app in a Google Play or Apple Store. It's for free. So download it, because outdoor we will use it. So try to have it in your hands so you can understand and play with it. It's the mobile application for ground 3D scans and from mobile devices. And in the latest smartphones, with iPhones, for example, iPhones Pro, you have a LiDAR. You have a laser inside as a sensor. It's a thermal. So yeah, here, I don't know if you have it. And basically, we are the only one capable to acquire the LiDAR data and the RGB data and process the data directly in combination with PIX4D Cloud, PIX4D Mapper. PIX4D Mapper can only process RGB images, so no LiDAR. Whereas the Cloud and Matic can process also the LiDAR information together with the images. PIX4D Cloud here, exactly, it's to streamline and facilitate the 2D and 3D creations. Is kind of a black box. That, I mean, if you know that you acquired properly the data, then this is, it's okay. I mean, you don't need to have a lot of time wasted directly to do the processing steps. This is all fully automated. The interesting thing here is that it has many different tools like comparisons, layers comparisons, CAD layers comparison with the 2D, GeoTIFF, orthomosaics and DSM. And with a timeline, you can process the images at different times, time 1, time 2, time 3. And basically you can see the differences between two moments of the life cycle of your mine, of your construction site, and so on. So you can basically understand very well what's going on. We'll see a case later. It's a cloud-based solution, so it's a seamless results sharing with a simple link. Kind of a co-working space. Engine is the tool for experts, I would say, IT people capable to code properly. As I said, PIX4D fields for aerial crop and forestry management for farming. So it's really quick and can add annotations directly to the field. It connects also with the soil ground sampling, so you can add information over there as well. And it's basically the tool for crop monitoring with drones. I already spoke about PIX4D React, and these, just one thing related to the firefighters and civil protections. All this software can be handled directly from a kind of corporate account and help every single user to point to the same user account. So it's kind of a corporate management of the usability. So the person directly on the field doesn't need to care too much about all the management that is behind, but it's the boss that is actually doing it. So PIX4D Matic is exactly the next generation of the photogrammetric software for large-scale, corridor, and terrestrial mapping. It has been built together with the manufacturers of the long-range drones, and as a limit, as hard-coded limit, I would say, we love to say we want this software to properly process projects of more than 10,000 images per project. And it works very, very well for some data. I mean, kind of a comparison between PIX4D Mapper and PIX4D Matic. This software, in some steps of the processing, can be 10 times faster than PIX4D Mapper. It's more robust, but it's still under development, of course. But it's already very well used. You have some results that you can show later. And the interesting thing here, as I said, we can process images from terrestrial with RGB and LiDAR information. survey imports output from multiple sources and connects directly PIX4D Matic to the analytical part, the digitization. We are actually bridging the gap between photogrammetry and CAD, and here we allow artificial intelligence to extract and vectorize faster, extract information faster and accurately, in order then to bridge the GIS systems for the cadastral, for example. VDoc, so it's not just a slide, it's this tool. This is the antenna that we are going to use later. It's a GNSS RTK receiver that basically overrides, connects to your smartphone like this. It's fixed and overrides, if you have the N-trip service working or the base connection, overrides the GPS or GNSS information of your smartphone that we know, and we all have experienced the problems in geolocation, okay? How many times have we missed the road, go left, and then you just went left on the other one. So, why? Because the normal GPS are with big errors. The smartphones have at least 5 to 10 meters geolocation errors, and it cannot be reliable as a source of geolocation for a surveying application. So that's the reason why, together with a company called Vigran, startup in Germany, we partner with them, and we are the exclusive resellers of this tool worldwide. It is called VDoc, and we basically allow everyone that use PIX4D Catch. That's why I told you, download PIX4D Catch, it's for free. I will not stop saying, if everyone in this room will not help, but simply, we allow everyone that has this app, PIX4D Catch, to override and be accurate in the geolocation of the smartphone, to create then 3D models with a really accurate position. The X, Y, and Z in the errors can be even 1 centimeter. But the GSD, everyone know the GSD? Ground sampling distance, so the resolution at the ground can be even of 1 millimeter, because we use laser and RGB images at the same time. We have redundancy of data, and we are very close to the object. The LiDAR has basically around 6 meters, 5 to 6 meters range, because it's a consumer grade, so it's not a laser scanner, not Regal or whatever, but that's the thing. We can be very, very accurate and very precise in the figure reconstruction. Additionally, additionally to the reality capturing of this app, we also have a laser here that can be used to get ground control points or how do you say it? Reference point. Thank you. As you can see, it's very easy to attach and pocketable. Sorry. Yes, you want to say something?
Şu anda ekranda görmüş olduğunuz örnek çalışmalar Ankara Yenikent'te yer alan köprüde VDoc ile çalışan kadar sesi var. Şu anda ekranda gördüğünüz Ankara Yenikent'te bulunan bir taş köprü projesini görüyorsunuz. Biz bu projede VDoc RTK gezici anteniyle çalıştık. Görmüş olduğunuz şekilde ekranda nokta bulutu ve sonrasında sayısallaştırılmış halini görüyorsunuz. Projede çalışırken tüm verileri, sahada topladığımız verileri PIX4D Matic yazılımında işledik. Sonrasında PIX4D'nin nokta bulutu sayısallaştırma yazılımı olan PIX4D Survey'de detaylı şekilde çizimini yaptık ve proje bu hale aldı. Tamamen detaylı milimetre hassasiyetinde bir 3 boyutlu modeli elde etmiş olduk.
And this is the tool that I told you before, the crane camera. It's to revolutionize the way you track the process of a construction site. Very often you cannot fly drones, or it's very painful to fly drones in a construction site due to regulations, no-fly zones, or even just because you have cranes moving and cables that are basically creating problems. So we came up with this way of doing the drone flight without a drone. So the cameras, they can be mounted, multiple cameras can be mounted on the jib of the crane. They collect images and geolocation and send the data automatically to the cloud in order to output 2D maps and 3D models. So now a bit of customer services. So we offer training not only online with instructor-led training or self-paced, but also with our partners directly at their office or the facility of the customer. And we also have a certification process exams online that anyone can take to be certified a PIX4D user. We also offer and we do public workshops and private and personal consultations. With some of the, thanks also to these programs, we have quite a lot of universities that are trusting us, and they developed in their universities training programs with photogrammetry thanks to our educational programs. We have books and booklets that we can provide as a training material as well as exercises. We also have recently started a project with a customer success manager, so for specific users we can offer this, and users would have one dedicated person up there following them from the beginning to the results. Technical support, we rely a lot on our knowledge base and our training material, but definitely we also offer dedicated technical support thanks also to our partners directly that are the first line of support with us. Wanted to spend greetings to Atai because they offer very reliable and very good support. Always the first line, they connect with us, they give us feedback, they found bugs. Unfortunately, there are bugs also in the system, and we can help. I mean, thanks to them, we can help our users to fix the bugs, and then say, okay, this is the better version. So this is very good. With our partners, we will always have the direct connections and the preferred channel for communications. So that's why we can be seen as a good partner for your work. And now, before going into the break, basically a bit of case studies. So this is a project that has been done in PIX4D Mapper, and this is a mining site, open pit mine, that you can, as a data set, you have it everywhere in our data sets. So you can download the data as a sample data sets, you have it over the cloud. If you want to test, or if you want some of your colleagues to test our software, you can definitely use this data set. It's the reference that we have. It has been done with drones, and basically the applications and the results have been used for cost and revenues forecasting in order to plan proper operations on site. In Georgia, PIX4D mapper has also been used for landslide mapping, and with other drones, other fixed-wing drones. This is the case of SenseFly EBX. In order to create a digital surface model of the area for the detailed evaluation of the geomorphological features of the slope, in order also to assess the risk of other areas not affected yet by the landslide. Results were used by the emergency response team and basically have been used to create and apply protective measures. This is a case that I really like because in the Faroe Islands, they didn't have, actually, the Faroe Islands were mapped with normal planes and cameras long time ago. Then the maps were outdated, and lately the climate change has been pretty difficult because in this kind of islands the weather conditions can change very, very quickly. And you have many islands, so basically you need to go and map properly, each one by one, basically. And PIX4D mapping has been used to provide the updated maps to the cadastral in less than 1/4 of the time that could be done by a normal plane in different conditions, especially with their local presence of local people. So not experts coming from wherever. And the results have been published directly in an open source, like open access map. This is another interesting case that was done in PIX4D survey and together with PIX4D mapper at the beginning. Sorry, with PIX4D mapping. In the US, an airfield needed to be vectorized and inspected, and they didn't want to stop the planes landing and taking off. So the map was done by drones. Meanwhile, I mean, in the normal, like kind of a pause between one takeoff and one landing on a different plane. And the vectorization of the DSM generation and the road recognition has been done quickly without any manual intervention. This is a case for PIX4D engine. Company entity needed to have a kind of, an engine like a motor processing every single data in one single platform that needed to be the same platform as the user was already using. So a platform done directly by that. So they embedded the engine to process the data directly on their side. PIX4D Cloud Advanced and Crane Camera have been used by many different companies. And in the Netherlands, we have this case of a high-rise building with a hospital that was actually checked and monitored by the cranes. And I don't know if you can see here, you have this is the CAD model, georeferenced CAD model, and then in transparency, there is the floor plan of the construction. The construction site manager every single morning was checking the results. And he spotted a displacement of 35 centimeters in X and Y between the walls and the plan. So, and the following day, they would have needed to put the additional floor, the slab. So, stopped everything and checked directly on site with the surveyors where the problem was. And actually, the subcontractor, they realized that the subcontractor had placed the X and Y and Z coordinate 0, 0, how much, for an hospital, this problem is. Where you have all the canalization, pipes, air flows, stuff, nitrogen, oxygen. I mean, it's incredible. It's really an error that could have cost them a lot of money, without counting the structural engineering problems. What did they do? They stopped everything, they destroyed the walls, and they put the walls in the right positions again. No, that's, yeah. Perfect. Same slide. This is one of the applications of the VDOC and PIX4D catch. In Europe, very often now, the beam laws and the new GIS, the new laws related to the environment and the infrastructure and utilities are forcing companies to provide very highly detailed georeferenciation points of the important pipes, important canalizations. I don't know, here in Turkey, possibly the same. In France, we know that they are going to do, so this year is all mandatory, they have to collect points and provide points of the pipes at 10 centimeters accuracy, maximum 10 centimeters accuracy for X and Y. So this is extremely important that as surveyors we need to do this. However, very often there are not many surveyors available because it's a skilled person, it's a skilled worker. So you need to find ways to provide the same accuracy faster with the surveyors checking the data and not going at the site always, at any single day. We have realized in Switzerland that construction is also going crazy. They do a lot of work, but surveyors are spending more than 45% of their time in their cars. Because of traffic problems, it's basically money wasted. I guess here it's very similar. I mean, you have traffic, construction, it's important, and utilities need to be mapped and checked. So, think about providing this tool that is easy, you will see later, very easy to use, to the construction site manager, not to the surveyor, but to the one that is always on site. And now and then, get a scan with a video, get a scan with PIX4D catch and VDOC, and provide the results directly to the surveyor. The surveyor may need to go on site once every week or every 2 weeks, and not every single day. This was done directly, for example, in Copenhagen. PIX4D scan and inspect, we have already spoken about this, but in France we have a lot of companies doing it and using it, and basically bringing the normal inspections time from 5 per day to 12, 15 towers inspected every single day. So the gain of the inspection time is really huge. During the Hurricane Dorian in the Bahamas, PIX4D React has been used definitely to assess the areas where search and rescue people needed to go. The challenge was basically mapping the areas for damage assessment with no internet, without any internet over there. So, and this is one of the assets of PIX4D React. Cannot work without any login or check. And enable fast emergency response. Yep. Let's go again. This is in California. The crop orchard basically needed to be mapped to understand the crop health and the growing rate. The orchard was photogrammetry mapped using a regular of the growing season. The results are basically we're showing that areas of poor growth were quickly identified and treated, and this is an interesting point. The yield per acre improved drastically, and for example, this case is the value of a plum tree in California was around $2,000 per tree. So spotting the areas where these trees were not growing and help them, and they saved a lot of money. Yep. Quickly, and this is at the end, so we can relax. What do we do? I mean, PIX4D has now this is old. So this is 60 different companies that you can see, 6 different offices here. But actually, like 1.5 months ago, we opened our 7th office in Bulgaria, R&D, and we're very happy about this. And yes, basically in almost 11 years, we grew from 2 people to 250 people company. We have these offices that are providing commercial support and training. Some of them, like Lausanne, Berlin, Madrid, and Bucharest, are also providing a lot of R&D. And here, quite some numbers related to PIX4D. Interesting. More than 2 million square kilometers were mapped since 2018. That's an interesting number since we started counting. These are just numbers related to the people that are providing us the information, and usually it's 50%, so you can easily double it, and it's a huge number. Okay. We have around 140 authorized resellers and more than 60,000 clients around the world. These are some of the trusted partners and trusted clients in the different applications. As you can see, possibly you know very well Esri, GIS. They are using also our tools in their drone to map application. That is the drone processing software that is behind the Esri. It's powered by PIX4D. And that's a bit of the history of PIX4D. Started in 2011. Actually, I personally joined in February 2014. We were 15 people, and decisions were made at the coffee table. So that was really startup mode, and we grew so fast. And in the last 2 years, that are basically the years of the pandemic, everyone was working from home remotely. We have been basically capable during the last, from here, let's say here to output and basically release 7 different software, 7 different platforms, and especially PIX4D Catch for the mobile application. That was incredible, and in a time where everybody is somehow trying to understand what to do, we managed even to be positive in the revenues compared to